Okay, so this is Ballroom Blitz by The Sweet, and I'm going to show you the intro and the basic beat, and it's sort of interspersed between the whole song for the basic thing. So looking at the PDF I gave you, it's 16th notes, and once again, the same kind of thing as sing, 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 you have accents. These are counted as 16th notes, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. The very first note you hear is a crash, and you're basically playing alternating 16th notes, right, left, right, left, right, left. You're going to accent on the ands, except, so the and of 1, and of 2, and of 3, and of 4, but you're also going to accent on the E of 4 with the hand. So you'd want to start like this. Okay, so the first note is a crash, and then when you get to the second bar, I didn't write out another bar, but it's just on the snare on beat 1, right? And so you want to count that 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, and that's going to happen for a total of 9 bars. The first bar with a crash, and then 8 regular. And at the end of it, you're going to accent all the notes. You're going to play all 16th notes up to beat 4, and on 4, you're going to go 4 E and a. So the last bar. One E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and, except they're all accented, right? And then your bass drum is going to play quarter notes on beats 1 and beats 2. So you got 1 E and a 2 E and a, right? 1 E and a 2 E and a, 1 E and a 2 E and a. And then on beat 3, you've got a dotted 8th note, which takes a count of 3. Plus the E and plus the and, because the dotted 8th note is worth 3 16th notes. And then the bass drum will also play on the ah. So 3 E and on the bass drum, 3 E and ah. With the hands, 3 E and 3 E and One thing to pay attention to is when you're playing 16th notes with your hands, when you're thinking of accents and also limbs that play with your bass drum, because that's what makes it difficult. Any 8th note will be played with the right hand. Any E or ah will be played with the left hand. If you start with your right hand, that's very important. If you're starting with your left hand, then it'll be the opposite. But if you're right-handed, playing on a right-hand kit, that's the way it goes. So the thing that I got to pay attention to is on the ah of 3, my bass drum is going to hit with my left hand playing a low note, and that's what makes it tricky. 3 E and 3 E and Then on 4 E and I've got 2 things that make it tricky. I'm doing a left hand accent on the E, 4 E and 4 E and 4 E and But on the E of 4, there's a bass drum hit too. So 4 E and 4 E and 4 E and 4 E and that's what makes it difficult. So one of the things that you could do is you can go through like 1 E and by itself, just over and over. 1 E and then 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and then practice 3 E and 4 E and together. So you got 3 E and 4 E and going through them very slowly and doing the stepwise thing of like 1 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 2 E and 3 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Right? And at the very end, your bass drum is just playing on the last bar, on the what's that, the 10th bar. Your bass drum is just playing quarter notes while you're playing all accent with your hands. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. So the whole thing together up to speed. We'll be doing that for 9 bars, and then at the end, one more time. And then you're do do go do do do. You're gonna keep on that the first bar over and over, and then what happens is it intersperses between a 2-bar pattern, which is a quarter note and 8th note pattern, that goes like this. Right? Which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the first bar is very easy. Bass drums on 1 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Snare drums on 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then on the second bar, the bass drums on beat 1. There's a bass drum on the and of 2 and of 3. Snare drums on 2 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now this song's kind of weird because it's got an implied shuffle rhythm to it, but when you actually listen to the drums in detail, they're not really shuffled, but the rest of the band is. It's kind of this weird, like, no man's land of feel. It's a little bit shuffled, but mostly it's just sort of like wonky playing. So you could consider it to be, to get the feel right, it sort of has a bit of a swing, but not full on. All right, so there you go. There's Ballroom Blitz.